Well, g'day guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're onto the turntable. So we're not going to muck around too much with this one, we're just going to get straight into it and see what these Calaro turntables are like. Now, I've seen these turntables around, I've never ever worked on one, so I don't know what this is going to be like, but doesn't look very hard, does it? I mean, under here, there's not much to that really. There's a switch there that, well, a couple of wires there that seem to go into the deck underneath the table, and obviously for a motor switch, and two wires for the motor, and one little mono shielded cable for our audio. That's about it. But we're going to go through this, of course, and work out, everything about this little unit. Now, I'm going to take it off its mounting board, so there's 3 screws there. That screw up there is for our peg, our resting peg for the arm. I think that's all. It all stays in one piece once I get that out. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, now it's a nice brown velour on this, which is in beautiful condition. And this, well, it's not too bad. It's a bit faded. I would like some better felt on there actually. We might see, can we do something, but we'll see how it is when we clean it up. A circlip there, and let's see what's under here. Okay, that's quite heavy. Okay, there he is, and there's, you can probably hear a motorbike in the background. The kids are off again. Motor spins. No worries. It's not locked up. This looks like a switch assembly that mounts here, but must be underneath. There's our idler. Gee, the rubber's hard. Yeah, I don't know. There's a circlip here. You guys can't see that. There's a circlip. There's a fibre washer. Then there's our little idler and nothing else. Okay, that's our idler, which seems to be very stiff. Certainly not something that's floating around. Okay. Yeah. My camera's not... Gee, I'm having problems with this new camera. It's just not focusing properly. If you guys out there can recommend a decent camera. Okay, don't know what I'll do with that. I may have a tyre off a video, an old video VHS machine that may fit this, but yeah, that's, guys, that's rock hard. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with that actually. Yeah. All right. We'll keep. That's one problem. Next problem, this. Okay. Here we go. Okay. We'll see whether this is going to work. I'll just clamp that anywhere on our braid and centre conductor onto left side, and I think we have feedback, but that could be these cables. Well, it's working. Why do we have our feedback? I think that's that explains it. Maybe if we can get up a little bit closer. Don't know, guys, but it is working. So we might we've got to take the arm out. So I think we'll get to work. Does it matter where it is? Let's see. Can I get our cable right up on the end there? No, still doing it. Okay, but as you can hear, we've actually got quite good audio, so this is working quite well. Why the feedback there, the whistle, I don't know, probably with this setup, but we'll get something nicer happening here. We'll probably solder a plug on here and go direct and see if that eliminates it. But let's get the arm off, and that way I can work on it. Now, for a start, we'll take this spring off so that there's not tension between the arm itself and its the little arm assembly down the bottom here, where it goes onto our centre shaft. Okay, unscrewed him, and can we take this out? Probably not. Yes, we can. Okay, so that spring helps lift the arm a little bit. Mind you, it still weighs about 100 grams. Okay, now in there we have, just inside here, a little Allen key. I'll get my Allen set, and that way that'll stay like that without that spring in there. Okay, so take that little Allen, loosen him off, and this should lift off, which he does, and then I can take the whole assembly out. So there he is, guys. Now, why my camera is not focusing, I really don't know. We might have to restart things here. Okay, so this only goes in one way. There's a chamfered, it's a chamfered shaft on the side. Little ball bearing in there, but we're going to take all this out, clean it up, lubricate it, and well, we'll get this talking a little bit better. We'll also have a look in under this little cardboard piece here at I think there's some rubber or rubber supports or something either side, and apparently does give problems. We'll have a look at that, and yeah, Calaro, made in England. Okay, so there you go. You can't see it because of my camera. Right, well, we know that sort of works. We know we've got to do something with this. I'm just not sure yet. And now this, as far as the motor's concerned, yes, the motor spins very freely. Looks quite good, but we will still do the job. Okay, now a centre spindle. Just goes, which is that housing there. Yeah, well, I think we'll take this off. We'll take our motor out, and then we'll reevaluate. We'll probably take the actual turntable itself off the plinth and put him on the bench, and we'll be able to do the grease spots, oil, whatever's necessary, clean it up and prepare it to get back in. This should be reasonably straightforward. The only thing that's not is this. Okay, now our focusing might be a little bit better, as I was saying earlier. There's the head of this, and you can see just a couple of screws in the front there, and this cardboard piece looks like it comes off. A little tab here just to hold the back of it. We'll have a look at this and just make sure that everything looks okay under here, and well, give us an idea of what's actually under there. Okay, so there you go, that's what's written there. Now that I can actually get a focus on this. Right, and our needle, well, we unscrew this. For you guys that don't or haven't seen these, there's our needle. We just pull him out like so. And it's just, it looks like a pointy nail. Okay, that's all there is to it. Put it in, tighten him up, that's it. And I don't know how many records that you're supposed to play on a needle. Depends on the condition, of course, of everything, but it's not a hell of a lot. And then you've got to buy another needle, and you used to buy them in little packs. There we go, there's a little tin here, and that's what they look like, just pointy nails, and they all fit this machine. Now, whether these are good, bad, indifferent, I don't know. So there we go, that's those. Okay, let's get the motor out of this. 3 nuts on this. Three nuts, 3 washers, and I think there's a rubber grommet in there. Okay. Okay, there he is. Now I'm pretty sure we'll probably take the ends off this fella, clean it all up, and re-oil him. There you go. Doesn't actually say on it how many volts anywhere. Okay, there we go. As you can see, was a bit nicer back in the day. I don't know whether to recover this. Probably it wouldn't take a lot, but then it's not original. And I think if this was cleaned up fairly well, I think this will come up pretty good. So I'm trying to keep this original, although down here, it doesn't, it's well worn. Yeah, and it's worn in around here, and that's, yeah, actually the top layer, the fluffy stuff, has sort of gone back to the timber there, and you can actually see the timber through it. So yeah, we might recover this. Have a look at him now. Here we go. Here's our turntable base. There's not a lot to him. And yeah, there's our... Well, maybe that idler is meant to be like that, because I think under there there's a felt. How that moves around. I'm not real familiar with these. But anyway, we're going to take all of this off, because I want to get right back here and clean everything. Okay, now we're going to have to work out exactly where this arm sits. So I'm going to have to put a small index on this to know where to put it back. Okay, so yes, that little switch, well, there he is. 2 contacts, and this little fella, well, somehow pushes up like that and pushes between the contacts. That's your on switch, which is this fella here. And I think, well, there's this. So you move your arm around and this kicks it out of, that's in gear. So as this turntable comes around, kicks this out of gear, maybe. That's going now. As the turntable comes, our little, where's our table? Let's have a look at this. Ah, yes. There's our little cam, comes around and kicks this little fella out and disengages everything. To put him into gear, we get the arm and, well, push him up there. This needs a little bit of lubrication. That's pretty stiff, that fella. Whether it's meant to be, I don't think so. But anyway, I'll take some pictures here now. We're going to mark a small, something here, a small indent just on the shaft and on this arm, so that I can put this back in the right position. 3 screws there, and this unit comes out where the bearing is there. There's another little bearing, don't know whether you can see that. You probably can't see it, but there's a bearing in there. You can just see the ball race there. Can you see it from this side? Probably not. But anyway, a bearing on the bottom and a bearing up the top here. So we want to do everything with that. Okay, I'm going to take some pictures, mark this, get it off, get this fella off, which is our bottom bearing for our table, and then explore this a little bit further. Obviously, we'll be stripping this right back. Right guys, now just a different mic at the moment, so just a little bit different audio. What I've done here is taken the old tyre off this wheel. I've actually wrapped some elastoplast, this stuff, medical elastoplast, around the rim and cut it so it's nice and neat. And now what I've got is the same size, pretty well the same size, but it was slightly smaller, hence the elastoplast. Well, the wheel was slightly smaller. And what I'm going to do is push that over, and I'm going to super glue the inside of this. Doesn't go anywhere. And there's our new idler. And that will grip fine on the turntable. I've used O-rings before for this. This is a flat one. I can't find a flat one the same size, and if you look at it, it's not real good. It's hard as a rock there. It's starting to crack. So there's a hack for you for an idler, and that will work fine. So all I've got to do, I'll put just some gel super glue right around the outside of this, slip this on, that will never move. Okay, it's on there now, and really you can't turn it. It's a fairly neat fit, but I just want to put super glue in there to make sure it's right. Okay, we'll do that. I'll come back. Okay, got me super glue, and this is a super glue gel type. It's good because the gel will sit on top rather than sink into it. I'll go right around here. I mean, this could go wrong. It may not be exactly what we want to do, but I think this will work. Okay. Now, I'll just slip the lid on that. I'll slip this over. Like so. Won't touch him too much. He's in position there anyway. And there we go. We'll come back tomorrow and check that out. Now I'm just using Gorilla super glue. It's a standard super glue. Nothing special about it. Okay, and good old medical tape. Some just some I had left over. So hopefully that will work fine. Hope so. Anyway, if it does, there's a hack for you for your idler wheels in your turntables and your reel-to-reels. Let's have a look at this head. A little bit different to your normal run-of-the-mill. And well, that one doesn't want to come out. This one is. Sounds feels like he's stripped a little bit, but we'll get him out. Okay, there we are. Now I can see a little piece of rubber down in there, but yeah, I'm not sure what all this means. How does this fella come out? Is it that screw there? No. As you can see, there's a little bit sus in the centre there. I want to find out what that is. Is it the where the insulation's wrapped around the coil, or what? At least these are nice and big to work on. Does that come out? That should come out. Not yet. Yeah? Yes, it does. Okay. And our little wire goes on down there. This is a very, very basic setup, this. It's quite interesting. Yeah. I will just get some wire. You can't see what I'm doing there. Out of here, so that we can take all this apart. Okay, loosen him off. Take our wire out. Okay, there we go. Now, what holds this in? I would say maybe the end screws. I'm not real sure about any of this, guys. This is the first one of these I've seen, but I have seen guys repairing these. There we go. Okay, the two longer screws, and lift the whole thing out. There. Okay, tip him over, find out what's going on. Not very much, really. That's just our little bit of wrapping that goes around the coil. That fella there is not a wire, it's just part of, looks like a bit of elastoplast or something like that. Let's take the needle out so I don't stab myself. There we go. Now, I think the rubber insert that people are talking about is in the centre here. I think. I'm not real sure on all this. Does that magnet come off there? I think it will. Yes. Okay. Let's take a picture of this before I go any further, because I take lots and lots of pictures. Okay. And there. Right. There's our magnet off. Quite a strong magnet. Right. Now I'm going to take the wires off here just to make it a bit easier to work on. There we go. Okay, going to take our needle screw out. I'm sorry about the camera, guys, it's just in the wrong position. Hang on, I'll just get him in the right position somehow. I'll get him over to the side. Okay, little threaded fella. Now I still can't see where this rubber is unless it's okay, it must be. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll keep going because we've got to rewrap this anyway. Now we're getting into it. Now, we still can't see. Why can't you guys see what I'm doing there? What is wrong with this setup? There we go. Right. Okay. Take him off. Take our little brass piece off. Okay. Is this the rubber we're talking about? I don't really know. If we take this off, okay, here's a rubber piece here. Very, very hard. Actually, it's breaking. I see. This thing sits on rubber. Now, yeah, and this. Okay. Getting there, guys. Pretty hectic now. And we've got a little rubber piece here. That sits either side. Okay, so a rubber piece goes in there, holds the bottom of this, and yeah, okay, the rubber's falling apart here. Yeah, rubber's very, very hard. Okay, I'm thinking for the sides. Okay, so that little fella's where you screw the needle screw in, like so, like that. This little fella here holds our needle. You screw this up until he's tight. So there's our needle assembly. This has to be mounted rubber either end and a little bit of rubber on either side. And as you can see, it's all falling apart. It's not good. Now there's a little piece of rubber in here that doesn't want to come out. And I guess we can poke him out up through there. Here's our coil. Very, very fine wire. Boy, we'd have to be pretty careful with this. And This has just lost his stickiness around. We can quite easily put a dab of super glue on this and fix this one up. We've got a little protector on that side, and the other protector is actually still in that side. Okay, so yeah, they're very hard as well. Yeah, well, we've got a bit of work here with this. I think we can do this. Doesn't look like something that can't be done. It just may take a while. Now, while I've got this all wrapped up nicely, I'm going to get some super glue and put on it. I'd like to actually put some super glue on that fella there to hold him in place so he doesn't move. Yeah. Okay, I'll get me super glue. Well, and we've got to find something. Little pieces of rubber. This one come out, which is this one here. Yeah. And that one there. Now this is the easy bit of just gluing him down just on the edge, and that should keep him down. Now this fella here, just glue him down so he doesn't want to move. Okay guys, well, this is what we've got. Now, this is how this needle works. It goes down in through here. Now on each side of this was a little rubber sleeve. Sits in the centre. It sits on a rubber nipple just there, and it sits there. And then the top piece goes on, another rubber piece just here, little nipple there, pushes on the back of the needle assembly, or the holder assembly, and, well, this pushes down on what is, or what was, the rubber sleeve. Now, when that goes in, I don't know how much you guys can see. I've tried to get the best picture I can. When that goes together, it goes together sort of like that. Okay, so this little fella here needs a rubber sleeve around him, and the two back rubbers touch the back of the needle assembly. That allows the needle to wobble around left to right, left and right, when he's playing, okay, in the groove. The centre of this, of course, goes in through the centre coil. When it moves, it induces the voltage, and, well, that's where we get our pickup from, okay, from the, electrodynamic effect, as sort of. I don't want to go into the theory, but that's basically how it works. It's an electromagnet in reverse. Okay, here I've got a little bit of old belt off a video machine. Now what I'm thinking is this needs to be held in there. I'm thinking of gluing a little bit of rubber just on each side of these fellas, like there and there, and the same with this one, there and there, and that way when this goes together, that rubber will hold top and bottom of this little assembly here. Hopefully, that's the theory. You can see the needle there. We can undo the needle, of course, and take him out. But I've got it in there for, well, not to stab myself, but for ease of use. So that when this goes in, like there, this assembly here sits on the little rubber concaves underneath it. I don't have any small rubber tubing that's small to do this job. To go over this, that is only 0.25 mil in width. This is the exact size of the old rubber that was on here. It measures 0.25 on either side, so we've got 0.5 mil tubing as such. Okay, so that's what we've got to do. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. Glue a little piece just on either side. Now I'll probably put it like that, glue it in, and then cut him off with a scalpel on either side so it fits in nicely. And yeah, I think that idea will work. I have heard of guys using bike tube, may work as well, but this is the correct size. But either way, even with bike tube, you'd still have to cut it because, well, bike tube's not a tube as such that's going to fit on there. Okay, I'll glue these and I'll come back and, well, show you whether it works or not. It may do the job. Well, guys, you can see what I've done there. Now, when we're putting this together, obviously this goes between these, and you can see how this is going to work. Once these are pushed together, it holds the actual needle assembly, or the holder assembly, in the centre. So now what I want to do is put these down on a flat surface and cut these wings off the edge so that the rubber in there is just on the inside. Now there'll be quite a few of you guys that, well, may be interested in this. The little suspension pieces that were on each side of the coil, I have re-superglued in the side there. They're just pieces of, well, looks like pieces of braided conduit or something like that from old wiring, but they've still got spring in them, so when the coil goes up against it, it still springs. There's still movement there. And of course our coil looks like this. Okay, so he goes in and well, those little pieces on each one hold the coil in the centre. Okay, don't want to muck around too much with the coil. It's fairly fragile, so the less I handle it, the better. I'm going to cut these off. I can't do this in front of the camera where it is, so I will cut them off and come back. But basically, that's how it's going to sit. Hopefully this all works okay. Theory-wise, it should do. Practically, well, we just don't know. Okay, now I've got to get this fella, the coil in there like that. And that fella has to go, where does he go? He has to go in the centre. Okay, so I'm guessing the way to put this together is to remove our brass plate to start with. Don't hold me to this, guys, because I'm just looking at how this was put together. Okay, so that's on the bottom. That's correct. So that fella is on the bottom. The leads come out the bottom. And our little brass plate is on the top. Just looking at the photos that I've got here. Right. Now, I have to put that down through there. It's got to go through the centre of the coil, like that. And that is held like so. Okay. This fella goes on the other side of our coil and sits down like that. And you can see how our little rubber supports are going to hold that. The rubber support is holding the back of our needle assembly in there. Okay. Now it's time for our brass plate. It's nearly time for a test, guys. I think this should work. If my big fingers can get this little screw in there. This may help a lot of you guys out there. If this works okay, could be a bit of a hack for you, as they say these days. Right. Okay, we're not going to tighten him up yet. Okay. Now, we will tighten him up and just get him in the centre, which is there and there. Okay, now to hold this in the centre, I'm just going to put the two screws either side. Okay, here we go. He's done up. Now that fella is not quite straight. that looks pretty good. Okay. There's our screws. And as you can see, our little fella in there has got his rubber either side. The same there. Now, I don't know whether this is... Yeah. I just don't know. Now, our magnet, to test, we need the magnet on here to test it. And he goes on this side, goes like that. And our wires then go out the bottom of this. Now guys, that should work. I'm now going to solder our wires on. Now, how it was is the bottom one is negative, and that one's positive. Not that it makes a lot of difference, but if you look at it, the inside of the coil, where the wire goes, is the positive, and the outside is the ground or the negative. Now, I don't know what difference that makes. I know we've had a bit of solder come off there. Just try and get this back on. There we go. Got to be so careful with these, because if you break those wires off, especially the little inside one where he goes into the coil there, it's all over, game over. You can probably hear what's going on there. And if we gotta get around here, connect this fella up, get a bit of a ground happening. There. Oh, guys, listen to this. Oh, perfect. It works perfectly. I'm only just touching that, and that's on very low volume actually. This thing must have a lot of output. Yes, and listen to that. Works like a dream. Well, there you go, guys. There's my hack, and it worked. So if you've got one of these, this is the way to do it. Try not to burn the wire there when you're soldering, like I did. But yeah, we'll gently push this back into position, get it in the head, and yeah, be able to do a little bit better test. The hum there is, of course, I'm using unshielded cable, and boy, that's very sensitive. Output of that, I would reckon in the vicinity of 1 volt, maybe 800 millivolts, something like that. Quite a lot of output. Alright guys, that's a wrap for that. So I'll put him back in the head, and there's no use in... I'll record some of that, but we'll fast forward as I do it. Okay. here. That's not a real good connection, is it? I'll get it in a minute. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, there he is, guys. The arm assembly complete. So very happy with that. All is working. Some little bits of belt. That's what we more or less used. And rubber belt, 0.25mm thick. And you saw, well, how I did it. We've got the idler. Now, where you saw me do that, well, earlier in the video, that's perfect. It's the same size. Everything is right with that. That will definitely work okay. That's about the only hassles with this turntable. So now, well, I haven't really, I'll just take this up there a bit. Gee. We better put some gear on this turntable. So that's the next thing. Let's start putting it together. We've got the bits fixed that I thought were going to give problems with this. Beautiful. And I've oiled these fellas. These have been sitting overnight, and yeah, that runs, yeah, very, very nicely. So that's your arm bearing, arm assembly. This is our main center spindle. Well, it's sort of a thrust bearing down the bottom there. It's unusual not to have the thrust in there. Actually, it's a little bearing in there, but there isn't. That's how it's made. So, okay. All right, and the other thing that we have to do now is the motor. Just push that out of the way, and let's have a look at this motor. We've got to clean this up. Yes, it's running nicely. I want it running nicely for another 100 years, so it's a matter of 2 screws there, and I guess, well, they're bolts. I suppose they go through to here. Take off the back, clean up all the bearings, clean everything with this motor, get it all, well, a little bit nicer than what it is, and yeah, he should be right, as I said. Well, 80 years anyway. The rubbers are good on the motor. There's no need to change them, which is great. Okay, so we might start this next, and then we'll start putting it together. Well, guys, another long video, but I wanted to include everything that I've been doing with this unit. As you can see, it's together. Now, rebuilding the motor will be in part, what are we up to? Part 4. This is part 3. I've put an end to this video. It's an hour long, but as I said, I didn't want to include everything for you. And it'll be the same with the next part with the motor. I wanted to put most of the stuff I was doing into the video. It may help you down the track. Okay, so as for this one, well, so far we're going pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with the progress. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. It's pretty important. And subscribe if you haven't done already. And yeah, you'll see the notification if you hit the bell of when I put my next video up. And if you really like, well, if you really like the videos, a super thanks would be really appreciated to keep the channel rolling, keep the expenses going. And well, buy me a coffee. There's a link down there in the corner. So up to you guys. Be really appreciated if you's help the channel in that way. Okay, well, until the next one, which will probably be straight after this one, within a day or so anyway, we'll catch us then. Okay, bye for now.